Hello Reformers and welcome back to Perisno. Now, when we left off, we had an absolutely overwhelming elven army right outside Galway here, and lo and behold, they have actually went in. They have actually gone in to Galway and are now besieging it. So, without further ado, let us join them and help them out. I don't know whether I'm going to be showing all of the rounds, because I think it's going to be pretty difficult to go through 1,600 units. It really depends on how quick the enemies die. But, I mean, if we know the Elan Taurens, they're going to do really nice damage. So let's just see if I'm able to do a little bit myself. Actually, not bad. This bow is super fast. I'm a bit worried about it, to be honest, because it is just so fast. I'm not really good with fast weapons, with the exception of melee weapons, I suppose. I mean, I don't really mind melee weapons that much, but yeah, ranged weapons, I don't know. I can't really see that much because the tree is in the way, so I guess I'm just going to fire over in this direction, and maybe that's going to make a bit of a difference. But yes, I think for the most part, we're probably going to be doing something like this, where I'm just going to go in, kill a bunch, and then retreat, and then have my arrows back, and then hopefully I'll be able to get a couple more kills that way as well, because as you can see, we're actually doing some pretty decent damage. Actually not bad, you know, because usually we'd be doing like, I don't know, 4 damage, 3 damage, sometimes even 0 damage, and nowadays we seem to be doing about 20. So I think that's a pretty nice increase to what we were having beforehand. And I guess that's because of our increased, look at that, nice, our increased power draw, and we are using a nice new bow as well. Actually, I could be using a much better bow, but yeah, obviously I'm a bit slow in terms of giving myself better, you know, equipment and things like that. Anyway, I think this shield is a bit I think this shield is a bit much, isn't it? I mean, just look at how huge it is. It's absolutely crazy huge. Oh well, never mind. I think we're actually fine. I mean, look at this. We've killed 80. Yeah, we've taken out about 80 units. So I think that's pretty decent. I think that is pretty decent. So I think what I might try to do is I might try to move my archers, because I am apparently in command of... Wait a minute. Yeah, I am apparently in command of every single unit on the field of battle. They have a lot of confidence in me, don't they? I think it's misplaced. I think it is misplaced. Don't you think? Maybe. It really depends. It really depends. Okay, so let's just see what happens here. I'm willing to let the Elan Taurens shoot for a little bit longer, and then we're probably just going to duck in and out. I'm going to probably do that off screen. Probably just going to duck in and out, shoot a bunch with my arrows, and then retreat once again, and just see how that goes, because the auto-calculation battle that is currently going on, if I were not to come in here, is not going well. It is not going well for the Elan Taurens. They are losing the auto-calculation because, of course, they are outnumbered a little bit. They are outnumbered by about 200 units, so the auto-calculation is not really lending too good for them in that case. But this, on the other hand, is vastly different. And it seems like they... I think I'm going to probably retreat at about 115. Well, we're basically at 118, but I was talking about kills. So could you get a couple more kills, please? A couple more kills would be nice. Yes? Yeah, some of you have already run out of ammos. Oh yeah, that's not particularly good, is it? Okay, one more. Yes, there we go. 115. There we go. That's fantastic. Okay, so now we can retreat. 13. Well, 13 morale is very good, and we killed 128 total, or took them out. And now we can go back in and start shooting once more. Now we do have a battle advantage this time of 1 in comparison to before when we had a battle advantage of 0. So we are making a dent. We are making a dent in the overall amazing defense that the Tauranians apparently have. And I'm going to be shooting into that rather wonderful gaggle of geese. Yes, technically they're not geese, but you know, we're shooting into many units over there, so they're a gaggle, aren't they? They're a gaggle. Let's see if we're able to get a couple of kills. And, well, actually I don't even really care about the kills so much. I just really want proficiency, to be honest. I mean, personally, proficiency is almost my #1 thing to get at the moment, with the exception of power draw, of course. But as you can see, we're actually doing some pretty decent damage here. We're actually dealing damage. Isn't that amazing? Because usually we'd be like, okay, I'm gonna deal 1 damage here. And yeah, that kind of thing. So it's really cool to actually see Scout's progression from way back when we were initially fighting, I don't know, initially fighting what? I mean, we did fight in, we fought against Ankar's, didn't we? Yes, we fought against some of the Ankar's units, like Ankar's Seducers and things like that, and it was really sad to see that I would be able to do no damage against the higher level units from that band. So it's pretty cool that we've come this far and we're actually able to deal some damage, that we're able to get kills now. So I think that's pretty nice. Otherwise, I think I'm just going to allow these guys to shoot. Ooh, look at that. We've actually killed even more this time. We've killed 115, 116, 117. We're continuing to kill things. I'm continuing to lower my shield so that people can shoot me for free, because that's what I do. This is what I do. This is what I do. I get shot in the face for you. Yes, exactly. Okay, so I think I'm going to let the threshold be about 140 this time, and then we're going to retreat once again, and I'm just going to do that a little bit, and you don't have to see that. So, yeah, almost there. Come on now. Give me 140. I'm sure you can do 140. Can you do 140? It seems like some of them have run out of ammunition already, so it might be a bit problematic to get that. Maybe? Ah, there we go. We got it. Okay, I'm going to wait for 141, just because we have to let them, you know, strive for greatness. There we go. Okay, so we're going to retreat. I was wounded for 10 HP. How annoying. That's very annoying, isn't it? But anyway, there you go. Okay, so I'm going to be joining their next assault. I'm going to do a bunch of damage with my arrows if I can. It's misty this time. Oh, that's not very nice. Well, yes, I'm going to try and do a bit of damage with my arrows, and I'll see you maybe in a round or two. Well, all is well in the land of the Elantorans, and nothing much is really happening. I mean, with the exception of me getting a couple of headshots, I actually did get 3 headshots, 1 in the previous round and 2 in this one, and we've so far eliminated about 600 units total from the garrison, as well as every single unit from all the vassals' forces that are currently stationed in here. Now, of course, we still have 1,000 to go through, which is very grindy indeed, which I'm not a big fan of, but I understand why it is necessary in a mod like this, because if you think about it, look at these units. All of these units right here are absolutely excellent. All of their stat lines are fantastic. Just so high level, really, really proficient in basically everything. And if you had a, you know, siege or a garrison or something like that, where the defenders numbered only in the 300s or even in the 400s, 500s even, that siege would be over in a matter of seconds. It would be. It would literally be over in a matter of seconds. Well, probably not seconds, but I don't know, 2 minutes. Probably about 2 minutes. And that's the point. I think that's the reason why the mod creators want these epic, very, very sort of legendary sieges to go on. And while it is a bit of a grind to me, it does feel epic. You know, it does feel epic, with the exception, obviously, the fact that I'm using a bit of a different tactic here to deal with the defenders by obviously sending my archers to the front and telling them to stand closer and so on. And my cavalry, well, technically it's not my cavalry, but the units I have, you know, command over, they also shoot, which is fantastic. I absolutely really love the Elantorans, actually. I used to not really give them too much attention because I was always playing with the Maccabeans or the Valahir clan when they were introduced originally, or the Giants, of course, you know, so in general, I haven't really given them the time of day. I haven't really seen anything that they're really particularly good at. I haven't used their units ever before, and I mean, I personally I don't know. Who do I like best? I don't know. Let me ask you. Who do you prefer? Do you prefer the Machiavians, or do you prefer the Elan Taurans? Now, I'm going to leave the Valahir clan out of this because they don't get touched by the Zan dynasty, and, well, in this version, you know, at the very least, because the Zan dynasty, I believe, did come in previous versions. They did invade Perisno, but it was less... I think it was less impactful at that point. I don't think you really thought of the Zan as being a big threat, or if you did think of them as a big threat, then they probably didn't affect you too much. And that's, should I say, it didn't affect one, because I'm not, you know, specifically talking to you, you know, in terms of, you know, your experiences regarding the Zan or something like that. But yeah, anyway, point is, who do you prefer? I don't know, because I absolutely had a blast playing with the Machiavians. I personally felt like that was one of my favorite times in Perisno, with the exception of playing the Slave Trader. Yeah, playing the Slave Trader, that was really, really fun as well, because you would just get so much money, and yeah, I could have probably... Well, I was playing with Falcon units at the time, because at the time, in that version, Falcon units didn't require any kind of relation or renown or any kind of requirement at all. So you would be able to recruit Falcon units from square one. So I started in the Falcon area and started, you know, doing my thing and getting a God of Amber Mace, and then I just started hitting people over the head with it, and it was just absolutely fantastic. And we would just run all over everyone. It was really, really fun. And the Machiavians, on the other hand, you know, I had all that drama with Queen Trisna and everything, because obviously I was after Queen Trisna at the time, but technically I think she was just a princess at that point, or she was Queen Trisna, but she wasn't married to anyone. Not entirely sure about that, actually. My memory is a bit fuzzy regarding the Machiavian series of Perisno, personally, but it was really, really cool to see just what we could do, because at that point, I don't think I had ever really explored a mods sort of marriage system, but it was really, really cool to see a little bit more about that. Obviously, I was just courting her, and then a new version, I think I've said this before, and then a new version of Perisno came out, and that version made Queen Trisna actually be the wife of Agathor Krex, who is the leader of the Machiavians. So that was a huge kind of slap in the face by Queen Trisna, because she was like, oh, you're not marrying me, I'm marrying Agathor Krex. So I thought that was pretty amusing. Anyway, we've killed 130. It's probably about time to retreat here. This is what I've been doing the past couple of rounds as well. So there's another 130 being eliminated. And as you can see, our battle advantage is going up ever so slightly all the time, which is pretty cool, if I do say so myself. So let's put our cavalry there as well, because obviously they're going to be shooting a little bit too, and it would probably make more sense to kind of get them in two lines, I suppose. Now, of course, the infantry are not doing anything, so I'm probably just going to tell them to go back out of the way, because they don't seem to have... No, it doesn't seem like they have any ranged weapons whatsoever, so it's not really necessary for me to, you know, micromanage them or anything like that. And now we can commence the attack. But yeah, back to my original question, who do you prefer? Do you prefer the Elan Taurans or the Machiavians? Of course, in this version, crossbows are exceptionally good, because they do have that armor penetration and things like that. Obviously, I haven't used one, so I can't speak from experience, but I can imagine, because back in the day when I was playing the Machiavian series, those Machiavian... what were they called? Not Machiavian sharpshooters, I don't think. I think they were called Machiavian marksmen, or something along those lines. Yes, Machiavian marksmen. They would have the... I think they had bladed crossbows? Didn't they have bladed crossbows? I think so. But by any means, that is... yeah, I think that's a pretty scary thought, to try and take a Machiavian town when they have even 20 Machiavian marksmen. I think that would be really, really scary. But anyway, it seems like we are just going to have to deal with this garrison in the best way possible, and that is literally just shooting at these guys that have massive shields and eventually having them be destroyed. That seems to be the only way we can get anything done here, which is a bit of a shame really, because I think we've killed all of their archers. Hilariously enough, I think we have killed all of their archers. It doesn't seem like there are any remaining, or at the very least, if there are, they're very, very sparse. So there doesn't seem to be that many. Anyway, there's another 94. 95. Yeah, I mean, this is basically the only way we can really do this, with the exception of just charging in. But you know how good these Tauranian hackers are. These Tauranian hackers and the Tauranian Royal Guardsmen, they're going to be really powerful in melee combat, and I don't think the Elan Taurans can stand up against that. But anyway, let's take a look at how much. Okay, so we have about 700 remaining, so it seems like I'm going to have to cut away again, and we'll see what happens. Alright, so I think this might be one of the final rounds, if not the final round. It is going to require us, I think, to charge in this time. So let's get going with my own arrows here. I think there's about 250 remaining. About 250 units remaining. We've gone through about 900 off screen, and we're hoping that this is going to be the final round. Because, quite frankly, I've taken a lot of time over this particular siege, and hopefully it's gonna be done soon, because I have things to do, and I'm not even talking about in real life. I do have things to do in real life, but I also would like to maybe go and purchase a couple more enterprises and things like that. But I suppose this is worth it. And you know why this is worth it? Because we actually eliminate the Tauranians from the game, if they haven't taken any other fiefs that we don't know about. But yes, they're going to be done and dusted. Hopefully relatively soon. Who knows? But let's just see whether that's indeed the case. Now, I do know, by the way, I have been using this mechanic a little bit, where you can take arrows from your own units. I have been using that a little bit when we've been in a bit of a more drawn out situation. So for example, I don't know whether, let me see here. Where's some of my, oh well, he doesn't have any. Faziel, there we go. Faziel has some arrows for me, right? No? Yeah, there you go. He gave me he gave me 24 of his arrows. Okay, well that's that's probably not the best idea, is it? For him to give me arrows, but yes, you can do that. And that's pretty cool. I like that functionality, but obviously the main reason why I was retreating is because our other units, not just me, our other units do run out of ammo, and they are going to need more arrows to do the damages. So yes, obviously that was the main reason for my retreat, not because I needed arrows or anything like that. I personally don't mind whether I need arrows or not, because the only people that matter are the ones that are actually dealing the damage, and these guys are the ones dealing the damage, not me. So without further ado, it is about time that we all charge in. Let's do this. Oh yeah, okay, so now I'm not entirely sure what they have left. By the looks of the kill feed at the moment, they only have Tauranian recruits and Tauranian trained footmen. So this is going to be pretty nice. It's going to be a pretty nice sweep. And again, we have only brought the smallest ladder in all of Perisno to help us out. This is going to be... No, this is either going to be amusing or it's either going to be extremely disappointing. It really depends, because if we get in here and they've already killed everyone, then this is going to be a bit disappointing. But I suppose... Oh, this is actually pretty cool though, because we get to see all of the arrows embedded in the walls. Just look at all these arrows. It's crazy. It's crazy how many arrows we've shot at the opponent here. Now, what I'd like to do is try and get inside and do a little bit of damage with my weapon, if at all possible. Ah, here we go. Hello. Okay, so now this is a bit of an issue, because I have a pretty long weapon, and it's pretty hard to handle, you know? It's pretty hard to handle when it's this big, and I don't know whether they can handle it either, because we're doing a lot of damage, a little bit of damage here and there. Ah, there we go. There's a little bit more damage. As long as we can... I was going to say, as long as we can stay on there. Alright, well, doesn't really matter because that's it. That's it. Done. We are done. Isn't that fantastic? That is absolutely fantastic. Ah, wow. That took a long time. That took a long time. Trust me, you didn't miss anything. There was nothing interesting going on. It was literally just rinse and repeat. So, 29 renown is ours. Nice. 252 units eliminated. And there's Gaui. We have taken it. Very nice. And look, there we go. We get all that relation with all of our friends there, which is awesome. And there's Tylan. I think I'm probably going to recruit him. Do I have any space? I have some space. Nice. Alright. So let's go and speak to Tylan. And he's going to join our company. An extra hand can't hurt. 7,000. Nice. Nice. Alright. That's pretty good for me. And I'm going to be improving our relations here. And then speaking to the guildmaster. And then we'll be able to purchase an enterprise. Oh yeah. Okay, so 2,200 for an oil press. An ironworks is 900. And I mistakenly clicked on that as always. 1,500. Yeah, I don't know. I think the oil press is probably going to be the thing I'll go for. Yep, there we go. Okay, oil press should be fine. Alright, I like it, I like it. Alright, so there you go. That's it. The Tauranians are now eliminated as far as I am aware. Now, do bear in mind that this might come back and sort of bite us, because... wow. Well, I'll tell you what I'm laughing about in just a second if you haven't already, kind of figured that out. But the point is, it might come back and bite us, because if the Zan declare war, then they might declare war against us, because we are doing the best out of all of the factions, with the exception of, obviously, Drahara, because Drahara has not been touched at all by the Zan. However, there are actually 2 factions I'm looking at right now, which is why I'm laughing slightly, that are on their last legs, basically. They are on their last legs. And one of these is the Machavians. Look at this. They only have a castle and a town to their name. Now, of course, usually they would have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... maybe 6, I don't know, 6, 7, maybe 7 extra fiefs to their name. And obviously the Hakon, who are also left with just a castle and a town, they usually have 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 extra fiefs. So isn't that crazy? Wow. Okay, so we could technically take over the Machavians' territory if we so desired, but I think at the moment what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wait and see what happens. I mean, let's just see who Gaui is given to. I don't think it's going to be given to me, even though personally I think that they would not have been able to do it without my assistance, but... well, you know how it is. The AI decides what it wants to decide, and that's basically it. But, yeah, we're going to find out. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.